Tracy Wilson of Dynamic Life Goals, and I am excited to introduce you to Diane Johnson. She's our newest addition to our Dynamic Business Network, where we bring you amazing people, brands, and businesses that are making a positive impact and have a strong message and making a positive impact in our community. Diane Johnson is the creator and founder of Diane's Journals, and she will help us learn more about the importance of maintaining and keeping a journal for our medical, dental, and health records. Welcome to our Dynamic Business Network.
Thank you so much for having me, Tracy. I really appreciate it. It just gives me a chance to speak to people and let them understand how very, very important it is to journal our health so we can get a control of it and not let it get control of us.
Yes. All right. So tell our viewers, like, who is Diane Johnson? What brought you on to this journey here?
Okay, I'm a wife and mother, grandmother. I've been married 57 years.
Wow.
I have
Congratulations.
I have 5 grandchildren, 4 granddaughters, and 1 grandson. Work out 3 days a week. Used to bowl, but it kind of stopped. But I keep telling people I'm going back, but I haven't. My husband and I step a lot. We play cards. We just enjoy our lives. And this journey with my son was pretty emotional for both of us. But when I came to a place where I needed to journal this information, that's how everything started. So that's where I am right now. And I come from a family of 12, 8 girls and 4 boys.
Wow. So I want to know a little more about that. What was that like growing up with such a large family?
It was awesome, Tracy. I tell you, we had such a wonderful childhood, having 7 sisters to confide in, 4 brothers to protect me.
Yes.
And mom and dad were just awesome. They were from New Orleans.
Okay.
And we had a really good childhood. And all the times that I used to tell my dad that we're rich because we got everything that we asked for. And he said, you're rich in love, but I didn't understand it back then. But we had so much love in our household, and we ate in shifts.
Okay.
The girls ate first and then the boys ate.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah. And Thanksgiving was like amazing. It was like the Christmas Carol. I mean, we had food everywhere. My mom had tables. We actually sat on crates, milk crates. There was so many of us, but you talking about fun in that house.
Yes.
I had a wonderful childhood. I did.
Oh, awesome. Now, were you the oldest or where were you in the?
I was the 7th daughter and the 11th child.
Oh, okay. So like the baby of the girls.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So had a good childhood, just enjoying my life. And then I married my high school sweetheart. He was a football captain. I was a cheerleader. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. All right. Well, so let's get into your medical journal.
Okay.
What made you I guess what got you into creating medical journals?
Okay. First I made a homemade journal.
Okay. Wow.
In 1996, my husband had some surgeries and I really want to follow them. And I just made a journal, the homemade in 1996. And I just started writing.
Wow.
I started writing.
That's amazing.
When I made the journal, it was just blank pages. And I said, this is so boring. But once I start writing in it and I start realizing that my words meant something and I could go back and refer to something that I had written, it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. So I kept a journal for 12 years from 1996 to 2008. And then I joined a group called the Black Inventors here in Chicago. And they asked me, did I have an invention? And I said, not really. Then I thought, wait a minute, my journal. So I put together some drawings that looked crazy, but they took us to the DuSable Museum. That's a huge museum on the south side of Chicago. And that for me was just so gratifying to see my name and my picture up on the wall with this medical journal, but I had no idea how far I was going to go. So I asked a young lady in the graphic departments where I worked at Chicago State University if she would put together a book for me. And so this is the book that she put together for me. She put the
Wow.
cover together. And through some investors, I was able to get this book printed. And in the back of this book, there was a folder for you to put your prescriptions. Well, back then, you would get the prescriptions.
Yes.
Now they just automatically send them to the whatever your pharmacy is. But everywhere I went, Tracy, people would say, "Oh, is that a medical study about something?" I said, "No, it's for you." And I kept explaining that, but I went to about maybe 50 conferences.
Yes.
And selling the book. And the one conference that really mattered was a conference that I went to where I think some of the ladies in the audience may have experienced someone in their family even maybe having HIV or dying from AIDS. And I started speaking, and everybody came to me and bought books, and they want to know, was I going to put it on a CD? And I said, no, I'm not going to put this on a CD.
Right.
It's going to be a book.
Okay.
But I had my first book launch, so to speak, at the same place where I had my second.
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna get into that book launch,
Yeah.
definitely. So yes, I see your process. I love the journey. I mean, that started with the three ring notebook, like what I had back in junior high or high school. So that shows the innovation and the creativity of when you have a thought or an idea and bringing that to life. So it shows, can you hold that up one more time just to show how your journey started, just as simple as pages in a notebook?
It started here with
Yes.
my homemade. It started with this one, and then it took me to my third and final journey because each one was an improvement of the other.
Exactly. And I love that you shared that you got people to help invest into your idea, help you create your idea. So you were able to bring people on board too. So other entrepreneurs out there, take notes, because that that is awesome. So you want to talk about, let's see, how was the current health journal, how was that created? I think you might have mentioned that, the one that we have today.
Okay, yeah, the one we have it today. I just want to say one thing about this particular book. This is the second edition. My brother, Khalil's dad, knew the manager at a pharmacy store, and he told him about the book. And he said, have her bring it by the store and I'll take a look at it. Well, as soon as he saw the medicine bottle, he says, let her take it. I'm going to put this in the store. So not knowing anything about marketing, I said, hey, could you give me a referral to another Walgreens? So I wound up in 15 stores.
Wow.
Just because I said, could you give me a referral? Could you give me a referral? So I was in 15 stores. And the book sold well. The problem with the book was at the back of the book, there was a scanner. And back then, you had to scan to get out of the store. So people were taking the back off the book.
Oh.
And he called me, he said, Ms. Johnson, I can't keep your book in my store. He said, come over here, let me show you something. On the floor was about 30 backs. They had just pulled them off.
Wow.
And so he said, well, the only thing I can tell you to do is if you can put this on a CD and we can sell it. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. But that's the history of how I got into the pharmacy stores, was just referral and referral and referral and referral. And it was 2 years. 2 years they were in the stores.
Right. And what I got from that as well is believing in yourself, believing in your product, and believing in your idea, your vision, and your mission, because that takes a lot of courage to ask for referrals, you know. So, and you said your husband spoke to the pharmacist for you to do that? He knew?
No, Khalil's dad.
Oh, yes.
Khalil's dad is the one who asked him. He was a photographer, and I think he took his daughter's wedding and he
Yeah.
happened to mention it to him, and he said, yeah, have her bring it on by. So uh, I just was so excited to have it, to walk into the store, and I took pictures of my book as you walked into the store. I was like, oh my goodness, this is just amazing to see it in this store like this. It was
Awesome.
amazing. And I went to other stores and I saw it in the store. I was taking pictures. I thought, this is amazing. All
Yes.
this came from a simple leisure pad that I
Wow.
brought to my son's doctor's appointments
Yes.
because the information was overwhelming. And my husband and I was saying, what are they talking about? Platelets and
Hmm.
blood cells. And we just couldn't understand it. So I just started writing it down. But
Yes.
probably the turning point for me was because I wrote it down, my son's insurance changed.
Mhm.
He changed from one insurance to the other. Back
Okay.
then, they didn't have a my chart.
All right, so we're gonna get into that too. So,
Okay.
and side note, shout out to Khalil and Khalil's dad. I know he's passed away, but shout out to Khalil. You guys don't know who Khalil is. He's part of our private small business society, and he does a lot of great things with graphics.
Yes,
He helped
yes.
us coordinate this interview. So shout out to Khalil. All right. Yes, I definitely want to get into, you said with the my chart and everything. That's a great segue into, I guess, tell us about your current journal and
Okay,
how it is set up, how is it outlined, and
okay,
how that may work with my chart.
okay. Um, this current journal, it has the same sections that the other journal had. It
Mm-hmm.
has each section. What was created was something called quick reference.
Okay.
If you have some tests done or you have some surgery, you just put it here instead of thumbing through the journal. And
Yes.
then you find it right away. If the doctor says, when's the last time you had a particular test, you go right to here and go right to the page, and it takes you to where you had the procedure done in the first place.
Mhm.
So my chart is good because my chart actually uh, gives you the information, but it doesn't tell you the conversation.
Yes.
That's what this journal does. This journal gives you conversation that you have with the doctor and the vital signs. Now,
Mm.
that's the second edition. I was writing them at the top, which is your blood pressure, your weight, heart rate, and temperature. We added that to this particular journal here. So that was a different feature. The dental stayed about the same. You just write the dentist's name, and then we came to our family history. And then the next section in the book was the prescriptions, which is so, so important. When you get the prescriptions from the doctors, you have to know what you're getting, you have to know the effect on your body. And then the last section in the book is the note section, which the note section was really, really important for me when my son was having adverse effects from all the medicine that he was taking. I had to write those notes down. The doctor said, write some notes down, come back and tell me how this prescription works. So if not, we're going to change it. But he was taking 15 meds a day for 2 years. That's a
Good.
lot of medication and,
Yes.
a lot of
Okay. So let's
time.
go over that again. We have the medical, dental, prescriptions, notes,
And family history.
and family history. So, guys, I mean, yeah, that was well researched because that is definitely important and what we would need. And it works along with my chart to give you even more information to help you
Right.
as you go on your journey. Can you tell me what inspired this journal and all of your, I guess, hard work and you know, you didn't give up on it, you kept going. I know you mentioned your son. What how did he play a role in your medical journal?
Okay. Well, first, when Khalil's father passed, he was cleaning out his personal belongings. And he said, Auntie, you should make an ebook. I said, no. He asked me 3 times. I said, Khalil, I'm not doing any of that. I told you I'm done with it. And one day I was washing dishes at the sink and something said, you're going on a journey. And I just called Khalil. I said, okay, let's do this. He's been so, so helpful. But the only problem I have is social media.
Yes.
Khalil said, Auntie, you got to go in here, you got to do this, do that. I said, Khalil, you got to help me with this because, yeah, I go on Facebook and, yeah, I answer people, but it's a whole lot more than that, Tracy. And I'm
Yes.
trying to navigate through it, trying to understand it. And we laugh sometimes so hard when we're talking on the phone. I said, I have to do what? So I'm trying to understand it. But my motivation for doing this particular one is probably Khalil asking me
Oh,
to come in and do another journal. He said, Auntie, COVID has come and gone. You could put
yes.
something in here. He said, think about people who are having effects from COVID, the long-term illness from COVID. And I started thinking about it. And I said, so I started putting behind each section, I put some little notes that people can read behind each one. I
Yes.
put behind each one something that could give you, uh, I guess, some little notes that could make it even better that you navigate through this particular section. The first pages were just blank, but as I thought about it, I said, you know what, you're right. Let me go put something on the back, just tips to
Right.
help you use the journal and navigate through it at best. But the funny thing is, when I sold this to one lady, she said it's blank. I said it is now, but
Mm-hmm.
once you write it, it won't be blank
Yes.
anymore. It'll be all of your words and all of your health history. So
Right.
uh,
Okay.
that's how I got that inspiration back.
Yes, and what I love about this too is that you have it as an ebook and
Yes,
the
yes,
physical copy. So
yes,
it will help those who are, into all this technology, social media, the modern age, and they want to do everything online through digitally, and they can also do it uh, handwriting the good old fashioned way. So
right,
you
right.
have a good, great product I'm glad that you were able to put it into an ebook as well. All right, so you mentioned your most recent events where you uh was promoting and sharing about the book. Tell
Yes,
us about
yes.
that. Yes. When was that again? When did you?
It was October 28th. It
Okay.
was the day after my son's birth. His birthday was October 27th. Uh, but I brought the books there, and Khalil had a PowerPoint presentation that was just awesome. We had some little hiccups
Mm-hmm.
in the Wi-Fi. I would be talking, and he would be on another section, and he would say, and my sister would say, "No, no, no, you're not
Right.
on that one."
Yes, but y'all
So
kept
trying to get
going.
back to it, yeah, trying to get back to it, but um, it went very well. People I hadn't seen in a long time, everybody wanted to hug and wouldn't let you go. And I said, I got to go over here and I got to see
Yeah.
her. But it went very well. We sold all the books. Uh, and then,
Wow. How how
yeah,
how many were there? A lot of, like, how many did you have? I
I
just
only had 50. I only had
only
50.
50 and sold out. Stop. It's people who can't sell five one. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna clap for that because
Yes.
that's a huge accomplishment. You
Yeah.
you are a new or not new author, but you're getting back into things. So that's great. What is the most, and I'm gonna segue into that. What is the most challenging part of being an author, or I guess creating this journal in this modern age of social media and digital, where everything's digital now?
Well, you just said it. Social media for me, it's
Yes.
it Tracy's very challenging because some people are just so fluid.
Mhm.
And when I'm talking with Khalil, he says, Auntie, all you have to do is, I say, you know it. And I'm trying to learn it.
Yeah.
So for me, that's probably the most challenging thing. The writing part of it, that was a breeze. I was able to take some of the information from my second edition, bring it over into the third edition, and so that wasn't a problem. It was just learning and navigating. The ebook, I didn't understand the ebook, but I had purchased not two journals, two editions of working out uh, on the ebook. And when I printed it out, I said, wow, that's so cool. But that was years ago.
Mhm.
But then when he talked about the ebook and how you you add an app to it. The app that we want people to use on the ebook is GoodNotes. So once you marry those two together, it's
Yes.
amazing, what the GoodNotes app will does. So
Okay.
uh, that was my challenge with just social media, which I'm getting there.
All right. So we're gonna um, wrap up soon, but I want to know what is next for you with your brand, with your medical journal. What do you want people to know about it first?
I'm not done, but
Mhm.
it's not going to be health. I
Okay.
have a totally different idea,
Yes.
and it's something that we use every day, but
Hmm.
it needs to be organized.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to starting this in June of next year
Hmm.
with Khalil's help. And he keeps trying to get me to go back to the health. And I'm like, no, 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 I'm going this way.
Okay.
But he's so intelligent when it comes to social media and putting together that PowerPoint presentation. I don't know how he did it, but he says it was easy. So I said, that's
Okay.
good.
Well, that's what I want to commend you on as well, because I think that is something to highlight as an entrepreneur. If you don't know how to do something, you find those that do, you know,
Oh,
and
yes,
and you
yes,
stick to what you know and what you're doing so that you don't frustrate yourself and get caught up in the weeds, so to speak. So that's an important lesson I think we can learn from this too. We find people, you don't know social media, find someone who knows social media. You don't know how to create all these digital ads, find someone that knows how to do that. So yeah, that's awesome. And that is hot off the press here, folks. So she has other ideas that are not even in health. We're so we may be interviewing her again on her next on her next venture. I want to share here too. I'm gonna take a quick second because I also have the medical journal, and I'm gonna try to hold it up here. It comes in the nice bag that says thank you, because I think that's important. The presentation was so nice when I received it. Um,
okay.
yes, and this is the current one, and all the information. I'm gonna do my own review of it as well, but I don't know if you guys can see it, but don't worry, I'm gonna do a review of this. But we have this, and she has little. Is this a bookmark? Is this a bookmarks and
And
um?
a
Mhm.
business card.
Yes, business card and healthcare information, and just more information on the importance of having a journal, and just and on her most recent book launch. So as far as she said that she didn't know, but the presentation was everything. I was so excited to get this journal in the mail and have my own physical copy. So definitely encourage you guys out there to get one for yourselves, and be your own healthcare advocate, keep your
Yes.
own records, be informed and aware. I think that is the most important message that Diane is bringing to us today. So tell us, where can we find or learn more about you and purchase your medical journals?
Okay. You can visit www.diane's journal. That's DIANESJOURNALS.com.
Yes.
And when you log on to that, you'll have the opportunity to order the book, and then you'll have the opportunity to go to the website, read my story about my son. I call it my raw true story because it is. And it talks, I have 3 blogs there, the importance of each one of those sections in the book.
Yes.
And you will enjoy the website just for the color and the stories that are on there. I think everyone will enjoy it.
All right. So, yes, it has been an amazing time with you, Diane. Is there anything else that you want our viewers to know, or do you have anything else to share before we?
Just one thing,
Yes.
inside that packet,
Mhm.
there was a story that was done about me in the Chicago Sun-Times
Oh,
newspaper.
yes.
It was in that uh, the week after I mentioned it to the columnist, she put it in the paper. And I
Wow.
was just so proud of that. people will call me saying, "Are you the Diane Johnson that's in the paper?"
So
I said, "The one and only."
yes, so you are a published author of of Diane's journals. All
Yeah.
right, yes. So that's great. And there's going to be a lot more to come for you. And
I
I
thank you
am
for
just
that.
so proud of everything that you're doing and accomplishing and just the wonderful message that you're putting out into the community because healthcare and being your own advocate for your own personal health care is so important. So
Okay.
thank you again.
Thank you, Tracy, very much for this wonderful opportunity to talk about my journal. I appreciate it very, very much.
Yes.